there were times where I definitely felt like, you know, I was in my backyard, things that really would remind me of home and would feel very, very comfortable and very nice. And there were other times where I was like, what is this place? Times where I felt at home were just, you know, I'd run into people a lot of times who had, you know, either been to Michigan frequently or like who would work in Michigan and then commute, you know, back and forth between the areas. My family, because they vacation in Toronto a lot, it felt a little too close to home sometimes because, you know, they'd be coming through the Mission in order to get to other places, and they never like came and saw me. Well, you can edit this out, but there was a time where they came and watched me and they left stuff on my car. I didn't see them, but they stalked me. So those times definitely felt like I was, you know, in my backyard. There were similar restaurants, similar ways that people would talk. It sounded a lot like home. But then there were times where I would feel very much, you know, like I was in this new, very foreign place, specifically when I was in the city of Toronto itself. It's a very, you know, cosmopolitan city, very, very diverse. And there's people everywhere. It was my very first day that I had been contacting on transit. Every Transforma mission I'd been in a car, but we were doing sort of like a week on transit. And I remember just getting out of the subway into the heart of downtown Toronto. And it was my first time being downtown as a missionary. And I just remember seeing all the people just swimming by me. And I'd been to big cities before, much more crowded than that. But in that moment, as a missionary, in that environment, I just felt so far from home. And it was overwhelming. I remember just having to just sort of stop and sit down on a curb on the side of the road, just be like, I can't even just process all of it. And my companion just sort of came and was like, you can do it. It's okay. And this was, you know, like over a year into my mission, but it was just such a new experience for me. You know, you're in a city in the middle of Canada, you expect to hear a lot of English, and you couldn't hear any English. You know, you were hearing every language other than English, and it was just, it made me realize in that section, like in that second, just how big the world was and how tiny I was in comparison to it.